Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another episode with your girl Audrey Codner from ACG Math Tutoring. Hopefully you guys are having a lovely Saturday, or if you're from New Zealand or Australia, a lovely Sunday. So what we're going to do is we're going to continue on helping those that need some assistance with any kind of algebraic components. So we're looking at GED, ASVAB, AccuPlacer, TEAS test, HESI test, anything that has to deal with Algebra 1, I am your girl, and this is the live for you. All right, so of course, as soon as I'm about to get started, this is when my lovely cat wants to say hi. Can I have some space? All right, let's go. I love you. Okay, so basically what we do is I share with you some maths questions. You answer to the best of your ability, and if you don't understand it, I still break it down just as well. So for the first one, for example, which of the following is equal to x squared plus 6z multiplied by 2y minus 4z? If x equals 2, y equals 4, and z equals 3. So is your answer A, negative 88, B, negative 72, C, 0, or D, 104? So all you have to do is just try to work out the problem and then go ahead and put your answer in the chat. So hey Janice, how are you? Okay, I know it's been a minute. Hopefully you're doing all right. Lisbeth saying it's B. Lyrical is saying it's A. I got some boxes saying it's negative 88. I got my Dot. Hey Dot. D's is saying C. I'm doing okay. It's been a busy, really busy couple weeks, especially. All right, so RC Pilot is saying A. Some comments are being filtered. Ooh, kind of nastiness are you guys saying over here? Let's keep it clean, people. Sometimes we have some young kiddos on here. All right, Jonah is saying A. George is saying A. All right, so let's take a gander. So all we're doing is we have this x squared plus 6z multiplied by that 2y minus 4z. So if we are doing our replacement, we're replacing the 2 for the x, so that gives me my 2 squared, plus 6 times my z, which is 3. And that is being multiplied by our 2y, so our y is 4, minus our 4z, which I'm going to slide this over a little bit, which is 3. So if we work out, let's work on what's happening inside each of the parentheses. So if I cover this bad boy up, we're going to focus on here. So we have 2 squared. 2 squared is the same as saying 2 times 2, which gives us 4. And then we have 6 times 3, that gives us our 18. So here we're going to have our 8 plus 4 gives me 12, carry the 1, so we got our 22. So that's happening over here. So now we're going to worry about multiplying the other side. So if we do our multiplication on the other side, we have 2 times 4, which gives us our 8, minus our 4 times 3, which gives us our 12. So now we have 8 minus 12, well, that gives us our negative 4. So now, looking at our 22 times a negative 4, a positive times a negative will give us a negative. So right away, C, of course C, and D is completely out of it. So if we just multiply 4 times 2, that gives us 8. 4 times 2, that gives us 8. So this gives us a total of a negative 88, which our answer is A. Okay, that's how I basically do it for each step of the way. All right, so let's work on to the next one. I'll try to cover up one. So now the next one, we're saying 15. Zoom up a little bit. Okay, what is the value of the following expression? So we have 4 raised to the third power minus 3 times the sum of 12 and 2 raised to the second power over 6 plus 5 times 4 minus 15. All right, so this time we are not given any multiple choice, but we can still try to break this down. And what do we need to think of? PEMDAS. And do not forget from left to right. Okay. So from left to right. So what is the value of the following expression? So we got 4 cubed minus 3 times 12 plus 2 squared over 6 plus 5 times 4 minus 15. Okay, so Lyric is saying 16 over 11. Okay. What is PEMDAS? Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Parentheses, exponents, multiplying, dividing, addition, and subtraction. Okay. If you're not from the U.S., I think it's, was it BOMDAS? I think that's what you guys have over there. Okay. So this is working on the order of operations. Okay, thank you so much for the follows, guys. User 45 is saying 16 to 11s as well. There you go. Thank you, Izzy. Yep, Fritz. Yep, there you go. So just another way of us doing the order of operations. Okay. All right, thanks for sharing the lives. Let's see what we can do. Oh, his personal. How are you? Welcome back. So 16 11s. Okay, so user 20 saying 16. Okay, you're saying 16 11s as well. And are you right? Let's see. Hey, Lobes, how are you? All right, so let's work this step by step. So first we have our 4 cubed. We can do what's inside the parenthesis. So right now that 12 plus that 2 raised to the second power, can't really get onto it. But if anything, if we do 4 cubed is not the same as 4 times 3. Stop it. All right. So this we're looking at is 4 times 4 times 4. So we know that 4 times 4 will give us our 16. And then 16 times 4 will give us our 64. All right. So, excuse me. So sorry. So I know I have 64 over here minus. Now we need to take a look at what's going on inside here. So here we have our 12 plus 2 squared. Now 2 squared, that gives me 4. So we have our 12 plus our 4. But we have to compare, or basically combine what's going on here with the 12 plus 4. So 12 plus 4 will give us our 16. And then with that 16, we need to multiply by 3. So 16 times 3, that gives me a 48. So that means you really have 64 minus 48. All right, so with our 64 minus our 48, that should give us our 16. So that's going to be my numerator. So I'm just going to put the 16 answer up here. So now, I'm going to give us a little twisteroo. Let's focus on the denominator. So with the denominator, again, we're not doing addition. We always do multiplication or division before addition or subtraction. So we have to multiply the 5 and the 4. So we have 6 plus 20 minus 15. So going from left to right, 6 plus 20, that gives me 26. 26 minus 15 gives me 11. So for my numerator, we had 16. For the denominator, we have 11. You could leave it as 16 11ths. That's perfectly fine. But if you want to, you can make it into a mixed number. So in order way to make it into a mixed number, we got to think how many 11s can go into 16 without going over. Well, that will be 1. So then 16 minus 11, that's going to be 5. And we put it over the original divisor, which is 11. So either one of these will work. Okay? So either one will work. Now, the reason why I don't use decimals right now is because that means I'm using a calculator or I'm actually doing long division. But remember, when you're taking the GED, the ASVAB, the Accuplacer, you cannot, and I repeat, cannot use a calculator. All right? Fabulous. So, on to the next one. Let's see, number 16. So thank you for spending some time with me. I know you guys could have done, I don't know, some other stuff. But I'm only going to be here for just a tad bit because I have tutoring. All right. So for 16, if every member of a team is paid $5 for his or her participation, and Team Alpha has 6K members, Team Beta has 4P members, and Team Delta, I don't know why I'm saying Zeta, sorry, has 9H members. Which of the following represents the total amount paid in dollars to the members of all 3 teams? So is it A, 1080 with your HKP? Is it B, 1080 with your HPKP squared? Is it C, 120p squared K plus 45pH? Or is it D, 30kp plus 20p squared plus 45HP? And you're probably like, what is this? Okay. All right. Okay. So each member. So if every member of the team is paid $5 for his or her participation, and Team Alpha has 6K members, Team Beta has 4P members, and Team Delta has 9H members, which of the following represents the total amount paid in dollars to the members of all 3 teams? So Kelsey, I got a D. Sandra with a D. Steve, D. Paulina with a D. Fritz with a D. Friday, only D in the right form. Okay, Sandra D. Sandra D. D's, saying D. Kim Ray with a D. Okay, Manny with a D. Thanks, AB, for sharing the live. Appreciate that. Always guess C if you have no idea. Okay. Okay, Letitia with a D. Okay. All right, Lisa. Hello, Lisa with a D. How are you? Welcome back. Hopefully you're doing well. The list of people passing their GEDs is growing, girl, on this end of the world. All right. Okay. So Sandra's saying A. Okay. All right, good. I'm glad you're fine. All right, so let's take a look. All right, so we have, this is one team member. I'll even change colors. B for beta, with my hair coming out my head. And delta with those type of members. So now, if every team member is paid $5p, okay? So that means what we're going to do is every single one of these, we're going to be multiplying to 5p. So we got 5p times 6k. And since they say the total amount, that's why we're putting a plus sign. That's why we're adding. So now the other one is 5p. And of course, I could easily just do one big parenthesis. Not a problem. But I just want you to see what is happening. Let me shrink this down a little bit. All right. So then we have our 5p. Those are 9 each. Okay. So now, taking a look, when we multiply 5p and 6k, 5 times 6 gives me 30. And the variables, when they're unlike, you could just put them alphabetical. So k comes before p. All right, that's weird. So now, plus, just by doing that, I'm taking a look here. This is going to have two p's, so that's going to be p squared. This one has a p and an h, so none of these I'm going to be able to combine because they do not have the same variables. They're not like terms. So that means I only have 130 kp. So once I get to this, my answer should be D. Okay? But if you want to see it, 5 times 4, that gives me 20. P times P gives me P squared. Plus 5 times 9 gives me 45. Then I have P and an H. Well, H comes before P in the alphabet, so that's why I just did it as HP. And then that will be your answer. Because I don't have any other KPs in here to combine. I don't have any other P squares to combine. I don't have any other HPs to combine. Okay. All right. Oh, good. Got it right. All right. Awesome. All right. So this is what we're doing. Nice and easy. All right, so let me zoom in with the next one. So for number 17. So 17, which of the following is equal to 7x minus 5y times 2x minus 9y plus 8x? Is it A, B, C, or D? Thank you so much for the follows, guys. Oh, you did pass it? So are you officially done, Lisa? Like, are you like, yay, we're done? Yeah. All right, Kelsey, like seeing math make my brain work, and my mom says I'm weird. You're not weird. It does. It keeps the brain keep moving. Break free saying C. All right. Lyrical saying C, user 45 C, long shot C, social studies. All right, well, you got it now. Now that you got that, all those things out, you got the social studies. You got this. I can see it happening. All right, lyrics saying C, Nina saying C, Simba. Math is so hard. Now, here's my thing. It's the presentation of it. Okay, oh, only social studies left. Good. So now you can focus all on one thing and you don't have to stress too much about the other stuff. Okay, I like that. I feel it. I really feel that you're gonna get it. Good. Mental math here, C, good. Mackenzie, C. User 89, C. SMB. Okay, you got this. Da Vinci with a D. All right. So, when it comes to these standardized tests, a lot of people, I can tell you the first thing that usually happens is you run out of time, right? So you're not going to take these tests, the GED, the ASVAB, the Accuplacer, the TEAS test, the CEAS test, all that thing, HESI test. You're taking it differently, even the SAT and the ACT. When you see your answer, you click it, you bubble it, you move on. It's not like if you're taking a test in class, you need to show all your work so you can get partial credit, okay? You don't get partial credit on these type of assessments. But taking a look inside of our lovely little bracket, we have 5y times 2x. So right there, we should be combining these through multiplication. So that 5y, that gives me a 10. But it's an xy, so we go xy. Now we have our minus 9y and our plus 8x. Okay? So all of this was happening. But do we have any like terms? Sorry. All this publication keeps going into waste. So we don't have any like terms. But outside of it, there is a minus sign or a negative. Notice it's outside of a bracket. So that means everything inside of here has to change their signs. So instead of a positive, this is going to be a negative. Instead of a negative, this is going to be positive. Instead of a positive, this is going to be negative. So then you have that 7x that's happening on the outskirts. And you do have something in common. You have this 7x and this negative 8x. Those are like terms. So negative 8 and a positive 7, that gives me a negative 1. And it'll be a negative 1x. If I notice, boom, that's a positive x. Not it. This, yeah, totally wrong. Not it. This one has that negative 1x. And it also has my negative 10xy and my positive 9y. The answer is C. Okay, excellent. Now, I know a lot of people will be like, oh, no, well, that should have been 15. I chose D. But we forgot this minus sign is acting as a negative, and we have to distribute or multiply to everything inside of this bracket. Okay, brackets in the US is very much the same as parentheses. Okay, let's go with the next one. If Stephanie has 5 CDs for every DVD, I think this Alicia, has, and Jeff has 4D DVDs, which is 15 more than Alicia has. How many CDs does Stephanie have? Ooh. Okay. A, B, C, or D. We distribute the negative. That's what happened to the negative that was beside the parenthesis. That's how our positive 10xy became a negative 10xy. A negative 10xy became positive. And that's how our 9y was negative, became positive, and that's how the positive 8x became negative, because we distribute everything with that negative. Okay, and I know a lot of people are like, I don't know about 18, Audrey. Lyrical is saying A. Have you done the function yet? What do you mean? Have I done the function yet? Cool breeze. Okay. Yep. Yes, it is. Especially the higher up that you go, the more you see these. And this is called operations of polynomials. Okay, so user 45 is saying D. Am I going to solve it? No, I just wanted to sit here and stare at it. Sorry, my sarcasm. Plus, I can't solve it. Okay. So you're cooked? All right, well then, let's get the recipe together so it won't be completely burnt. So, if anything, we have to take a look at what is this saying. So we know that Stephanie has 5 CCDs for every DVD that Alicia has. So then we need to figure out that Jeff has 4 DVDs, which is 15 more than Alicia has. So let's talk about Alicia for a second, because I think that will make life a little bit easier for everybody. So with Alicia, so she has 15 more than Jeff. So that means Jeff has 4D plus 15. Okay, so Jeff has 4D, and we know that Alicia and then we have Stephanie. So with that, we're trying to say that Stephanie has 5C for every DVD that Alicia has. Well, if this is what Alicia has, we need to multiply this by what Stephanie has. So now we're just doing the distributive property. So we're going to multiply 5C with our 4D. And then we're going to multiply our 5C with the 15. We only use Jeff to figure out what Alicia has. So this gives us 20 CD. And as soon as I see that 20 CD, right away I should be thinking C and D is out because they got 80. So now 5C times 15, that gives us our 75. And we're bringing our C over. So the answer is going to be A. No, Jeff didn't have 15 more than Alicia. Jeff only had 4D, which is 15 more than Alicia has. So that means Alicia, it has Jeff plus the 15. Oh, I'm sorry. It is negative. It shouldn't be negative. Let's see, where did I screw up at? Oh, wait, no, hold on. Oh, that's where I screwed up at. I got you. I screwed up. Because this shouldn't be a plus 15 here. This should be a negative 15. Because if this is more than if Jeff has 4D, which is more than what Alicia has, Alicia should have less than that. That should be negative. That's why this is negative. Thank you. It shouldn't be positive. It should be negative. So it is going to be A. Yeah, I got you, Steve. Thank you. Yeah, it was my setup because I keep forgetting I have to think the opposite when I'm talking about someone else. Okay. So, yes. So that'll be more. Sierra, yes. I know, right? Brain nutrients. Try and do this all day. You'll be silly by the end of the day. All right. Now this is dividing polynomials. So you're doing a polynomial divided by a monomial. So you're taking just what you know about division as well as what you know about exponents. So we're going to divide 56 x to the fourth plus 49x to the third y to the third minus 84x cubed minus 7x squared divided by 7x squared. Okay. Now, here's my thing. So here's my thing. You don't have to divide the whole thing to get your answer for this one. If it's A, B, C, or D. Okay. So Cool Breeze thinks it's C, Lyric is A, User A, Big Rig A, Raquel A. Okay. I believe it's A. Okay, Cool Breeze. You think it's A now? Okay, got you. Alex is A. AB is A. All right. Okay. So Justin think it's B. All right. So this is your quick tip. Ready? Fritz is saying it's A. All right, let's take a look. So first off, I noticed that 7x squared, hey Michael, if I divide that 7x squared with this 7x squared, that's going to result into a 1. Not only a 1, but a negative 1. So right away, I'm looking at the ends of each of my answer choices to see which one gives me negative 1s, which is A and C. So B is out and D is out. Now I'm going to tack on the front. So I have 56x to the fourth divided by 7x squared. Well, 56 divided by 7 gives me 8, which we have for both A and C. But we have x to the fourth divided by x squared. When you're dividing exponents, you're subtracting your exponents. So that'll be 4 minus 2, which gives me x squared. So this is giving me x to the fourth. It's going to be x squared. So your answer is A. Okay, so your answer is going to be A. All right. So notice, I didn't do the whole entire thing. And this is only for these standardized assessments. It's not just for the assessments if you're currently in a class. Because if you want to save time, that's a couple of things that you can do. Do process of elimination, okay? Divide on the ends, see if the ends can help you out, which it did for us. Then divide in the beginning, you did that. And then you have to subtract your exponents, so that's why it's an x squared. All right. Okay, so sometimes you don't have to do a whole heck of a lot of work. There's still work, but just another way of you getting your answer just by knowing the process. Okay. You find the GCF? Nope, you're not factoring. You're dividing, Sierra. You're dividing. So when you're dividing, you're trying to make it smaller, not make it larger, but the GCF. All right. Okay. So for 20, a charity with a yearly budget of $80D gets all its money from either its yearly ball or from private donations. If the charity raises 64D from the silent auction at the ball and 4A from ticket sales at the ball, how much will need to be raised in private donations to meet the budget? So is it A, 16D, B, 16D minus 4A, or C, 16D plus 4A, or D, 144D minus 4A? Okay, so I'm seeing C with AB. I'm seeing Raquel saying C. Viv is saying B. Lisa is saying C. Okay, Danny Cook with a B. Okay, thanks, Steve, for the follow. Appreciate it. Annika saying B. PN Pat saying A. Okay, Lyric saying B. Is that Shinlo saying C? It means negative for A, which is B. Okay, it's D. I'm confused about A. Okay. So we have Mal and J both saying B. All right, so let's take a look. So the entire yearly budget is 80D. Okay, so they're getting their money either from the ball or from private donors. So there's a charity that raised 64D, and there's 4A from the ticket sales of the ball. So they want to know how much they're going to need from the private donations. So how much is left to cover this 80D? So if we take a look, we can say, all right, we have our 80D. 80D. So we have our 80D minus the 64. What we got? 64D, right? Minus the 4A. Okay, because 80D is supposed to represent the whole entire year. But if they raise this much money and they raise this much money, obviously we're going to have to do some subtracting to figure out how much is left. So if we take this and combine, okay, so that means 80 minus 64, that will give me my 16D. And then what's left over is that minus 4A. All right. So if we take these things away, what's left over is what they need. So what they need is B. Okay, good. Exactly. All right. So it's almost like if they said, all right, they need $80,000 and they raised $64,000 for one thing, they raised $4,000 for another thing. How much do they need? Well, you're going to subtract the 80 minus the 64 minus the 4. And then what was left over, that's going to be doing it. Just because they're adding variables doesn't mean you switch the way you do it. Okay? Just kind of switches that brains in your brain. Okay? Right. So the budget doesn't include A. The budget doesn't include the A. Exactly. They're missing that 4A. That's in there. Good. All right. Let's do a little more practice with the dividing. We're going to see if we can finish this page already. And then I'm going to have to skid out. Oh, shoot. Maybe this might be our last one. I'm so sorry. Losing track of time. All right, so here we go. Dividing. We have x to the fourth plus 4x squared y to the fourth minus 8x minus y squared, all divided by 2y squared. Let's see what you guys come up. Is it A? Is it B? Is it C? Or is it D? There's Freedom Rider. Michael is saying A. And thank you for sharing the live. Okay. Ab is saying A as well. Okay, Fritz Prime is saying A. Danny's saying A. Steve is saying A. Now, if you're not sure, you can also put a question mark into the chat. Okay, you can also put a question mark in there. Nada is saying A. Justin's saying C. Legit, not sure. That's fine. Jay, not sure. Okay. Raquel, good. I got you. All right. What grade is this for? It's actually for people getting their GED, their ASVAB, the AccuPlacer, TEAS test, and HESI test. So anything that has to deal with algebra, it's in there. Okay, Big Al saying A. Nipper saying A. Okay, so let's break it on down. So let's just take a quick look here. I like to break them into their own sections. So you have x to the fourth divided by 2y squared. Then you would have your 4x squared, y to the fourth divided by 2y squared. And I'm going to pause right there for a sec. Because here I have, which is assumed to be a 1 in front of that x to the fourth. But that x to the fourth and the 2y to the second, I can't reduce this, okay? They don't have the same basis. So since they don't have the same basis, I can't do the division or the subtraction, of the exponents. So it has to stay x to the fourth over 2y squared. So if I'm going down, all right, does that help me? It helps me right here. So C is definitely out. Okay, does it help me right here? Not so much, because that still has to the fourth and that still has to the fourth. But these two are going to get canceled out because I had a y squared. What happened to my squared? Okay, it can't be simplified. And this has an x squared. This originally has an x to a fourth. I cannot do anything because they do not have the same base. So that means B and C is out. So now I'm going to take a look at my middle part. So even if I'm looking at the middle section, I have 4 and 2. That can be simplified. 4 divided by 2 will give me 2. But in the numerator, I have x squared because the denominator, there's no x's. So the x squared is going to stay in the numerator. Now I have x to the fourth and I have x squared. So think of it this way. I have 4 y's in the numerator. I have 2 y's in the denominator. If I cancel out the y's, I'm going to have 2 of those y's left in the numerator. Well, D is not telling me any of that, but the middle term here, notice it matches. Okay, so we don't have anything in the denominator anymore. It's just going to be the 2x squared, y squared. So just by that information, boom, A is my answer. Okay, because D is not giving me anything. Because I can't even simplify and cross things out. Okay, this one's a tough one. So if you see something like this, GED, that's like a 3-point question. This one that we had earlier, right here, that would be considered a 3-point question, believe it or not. Anything dealing with slope, equation line, graphing, graph of linear equation, graph of inequalities, volume. Those are all 4-point questions. Okay? What happened to the y in front of the 2? When you have y to the 4th, let me put it down here real quick. When you have y to the 4th, y to the 4th is the same as saying y times y times y times y. When you have y to the 2nd, that's y times y. If I'm dividing these, cancel out, because 4 minus 2 gives me 2. And here's the 2 y's that we have left over. That's why this equals y squared. Okay, what happened to the 2 in front of the y? You divide it. What's 4 divided by 2? 2. You mean engineering? All right, Anthony, there it is. Okay, fraction bar means division. Yes, it does. No, don't apologize. You have a question, ask it. I feel like this is the platform to ask your questions. I'm not gonna, unless you go to like, what's 1 plus 1? I'm just gonna shut the live off. Yeah, so yes, division bar means, when you see the bar, that means division. Now, when you're dealing with exponents, when you're dividing, you subtract your exponents. When you are multiplying, if I may, if I have x squared times x to the 4th, when they have the same base, you are actually going to add the exponents, which gives you x to the 6th. When you have an exponent being raised by an exponent, you multiply the exponents. Okay? So, if you need further refresher, okay, because that's, when it's confusion, it's like, you know what, you probably haven't seen it for a minute. This is where you can go, okay? All of my replays, if you go here and you type in this, and then go ahead and subscribe. It's a free subscription, okay? You will actually see all of my videos. There's a playlist called TikTok Lives. You will see all my videos from February 2nd, okay? I can't believe it's almost going to be a year. And give me some time to upload this one to put it on there. So everything from yesterday is all the way up there, okay? So you can definitely go there. Some of them is a combination of problems like I do tonight. And there are some that you would actually see how to break down exponents, how to break down multiplying, dividing, adding, subtracting polynomials, how to do volume, how to do probability, how to figure out the proportions. All of that is on there, okay? All right? Your brain is the size of a mustard seed. I need for you to change your mindset ASAP, okay? Because if this chick who used to suck at math is now able to teach it and have people pass, hey, it's hard work and you just got to apply a little bit. No problem. Exponents. How come you don't add the exponents on the top? Well, because they were not the same base. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Stephen. Or Steve. Okay? They're not the same base, so you can't add them together. They have to be the same base. Both of them have to be x's or both of them have to be y's. Okay? Does that make sense? Okay? Everything's on there. All right? Go take a look. I love how people are like, is this on there? Is that on there? Well, take a look. It's free for flip's sake. Okay? But that other x, the other x that's separated with a plus sign, can't do it. There's a plus sign in the middle. Okay. There's a plus sign in the middle. Oh, thank you, Cotton Candy. Appreciate you. All right. Oh, all these gifts. Hey, Bobby. All right, so if anything, take a look there. I'm going to upload this a little bit later today. I'm going to try my hardest to be on tomorrow, possibly around the same time, maybe a little bit earlier, depending on how many people, if anyone cancels. All right, okay. So I will talk to you guys later and have a wonderful day. Take care.